let's talk to the Secretary General, Wilson Sossion. And my first question is, there's this threat. You will make schools ungovernable if the government does not reverse its decision. How real is this threat at this particular time?
Well, we've not issued any threat. We've issued an intention. Because we are dealing with a massive disaster. A report of arson of whatever nature against any installation of an infrastructure in any learning institution must make us to think whether it is a food store, whether it's a toilet facility, whether it's a dormitory. But in this arrangement, with close to 100 arson cases that have been reported, it is over 95% on dormitories. That cost over 1 billion shillings. That concerns us. But and the laid back position that has been taken by government, which is more political, and we are telling government, don't be political.
What do you mean laid back? What do you mean laid back?
Laid back, it is watch, wait, and see. Let them ban. After all, they will pay.
I think the government has been very vocal against what's happening in schools.
That is the attitude. But you cannot wait and watch a disaster escalate from one level to the next. That is why we have said, let us be reasonable as teachers. And as a union, we have a duty to advise government that right now, the most immediate thing to do about disaster is to stop it.
Stop what?
The only way to stop disaster is to engage in a process that will not allow any further banning. And any other further banning, as we have seen yesterday, close to 7 schools in a night, then that means we'll be entering an average of 4 schools in a day, at minimum for the remainder days. That's very expensive for us. So for us, we think the best thing to do, because the symptoms that we are seeing is that students are under very great tension right across schools. Then the answer is close schools within a reasonable time limit to get rid of the tension and to send students home so that we can reorganize and begin afresh.
Tell me, 1 week extension from 5th to 12th, you want to blame that on what's happening?
Even an extension of 5 minutes that was not known to the active participants in policy making, and this is about policy. And that is what I've said from the beginning. The cause of all this tension is sudden policy change, drastic, right across the board, without proper consultation. But you cannot introduce a new policy without socializing the consumers of the policy and the implementers of the policy. The consumers of the policy here are students. These are living students, and students who have been allowed privileges to exercise certain rights, including even electing their own leaders. That means we have given them responsibility. And the change of the term dates, withdrawal of social events in 3rd term, and even withdrawal of half term, which was a recommendation of another commission that looked at schools unrest, is as good as the same government licensing resumption of unrest.
But let's look at where this started. For example, the extension of term dates. This was as a result of the strike by the teachers. Students spent a lot of time at home. They had to cover up for this.
Let me correct your memory. We are in the year 2015. The extensions of term dates has got no connection whatsoever with the teacher strike of 2015. The strike of 2015 ended on the 5th of October, and the term dates were not extended. Exams were done on time. We are in 2016. Teachers have not been on strike in 2015.
Well, what then informed
this? The change of term dates has been done extravagantly by the Minister of Education. and almost unilaterally, with a mere promissory note that this rearrangement will stop examinations cheating. All this is resident at the examination cheating, which we get it at the exam council, we get it at the police armories. And all these other changes which are supplementary are misinformed. And this is what we have advised the minister on the same, that this change of term dates has caused uncalled for tension, coupled with the other issues that exist within the schools, and that you need to relook at it. And in education, a management of this magnitude requires careful listening. And we advise the minister, can you engage the students? Listen to what the students are talking about, which he has not done.
But you don't even like the minister to go to schools. Before I go back to the point of education and exams and the extension of the term dates, you don't even like the minister going to schools.
Let me tell you one thing. As a union, we are not opposed to the minister visiting schools.
But you've called him a lot of names for going to school, high-handed. You've called him names.
No, I've not said so on behalf of the KNUT. I've not said so. I have encouraged the minister visit schools, but do it in a structured manner. And you do it very well if you do it through the Quality Assurance and Standards Unit that is vested in law to visit the classrooms, to check the teachers on minute-to-minute basis without notice. But when he arrogates it to himself and is the one asking questions, if we need any report of quality assurance from the Ministry of Education at all levels, at national, we'll not need it from the minister. We'll need it from the Director, Quality Assurance and Standards.
It means
if we need it at the county level, if we need it at even grassroots level, we'll need it from the Quality Assurance Unit. Never in law shall the County Director of Education arrogate himself the duties of the quality assurance. Never at the national level.
Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? The CS doing his duty by visiting schools.
It is not his.
Why is it a problem? It's because you're not used to this kind of modus operandi. You're not used to a CS going to schools.
Let me ask you one question. There are over 30,000 schools. Can the CS do a quality assurance check in all the 30,000 schools? He's not an angel. It will take him many years. That is why structures were created and structures were given powers to do so. And if I may ask, even these schools that have been involved in arson, do we have credible quality assurance reports? Because that's the department vested with that duty. And anybody in Kenya questioning quality and programs of any school should not get it from the minister. They should get it from that department. That is the law of this country.
Another school of thought.
We should not need to wake up and mesmerize and get excited about. And let me ask you,
yes,
if the CS education visited from, for example, Naivasha Girls Secondary School today, can the CS give us a credible quality assurance report within the framework of the law? Definitely cannot. He is doing it.
Another school of thought.
And that is why he should allow the quality assurance to do that work.
Well said, but another school of thought indicates that your teachers are panicking. Exams are here. All avenues for cheating have been closed. They're simply panicking. And there are also accusations that there's mishandling of funds in schools. This is mere cover-up.
No, we got to get facts right. Our teachers are not panicking. Their job is to teach. That is figment of imaginations. And that is diversion of attention. Because somebody must carry the blame. And the government has placed itself strategically to condemn the head teachers, to condemn teachers. That is why we are seeing teachers locked up in jails on mere suspicion. And this is why we won't allow. Lock up a teacher on mere suspicion, and teachers have not participated in arson. We have seen the ministry blaming the head teachers on management, while the head teachers have spent painful moments to run schools through difficult times. Right now, the teachers have converted themselves to watchmen who are taking over the supervision of hostels and all corners of the schools in turns, other than teaching during the day. Then you accuse them. That's unfortunate. And this is a tactful way of diverting attention. And this is where the ministry is getting political. And we won't allow the cabinet secretary to run away with that. When you talk about, when the CS talks about, the head teachers are stage managing the banning of schools to destroy the accounting documents so that they escape audits, let me ask you, over 100 schools that have been banned, the facilities being banned are dormitories.
And administration blocks.
Administration blocks in isolated cases. We can count 1 or 2 schools. Mm-hmm. You cannot pick 1 or 2 schools and generalize that all these schools that are experiencing arson are on dormitories and somebody is covering up documents. We can tell you 100%. Accounting documents, the books, the cash books, and all other accounting documents are kept in the administration blocks. They are not kept in the dormitories.
So this squarely is on the students. The students.
It is squarely on the students.
What is the solution? What is the solution?
And this is where I invite any credible cabinet secretary should allow the psychologist to come in. Mm-hmm. And this is where I'm telling the cabinet secretary and the personnel of the ministry and everyone else in due faith, without any malice, that you now open your eyes, open your ears, and open the domain on student psychology, the psychology of learning and instructions. And when you change certain things and you cause anxiety and tension, you must cure the tension. Focus on curing the tension right now.
And the solution is as simple as going back to the original dates for closing school.
Yes. The most immediate thing is that you cannot send these students who are under tension for 2 weeks break at the end of this and recall them again for 3rd term. That is a very, very perfect way of inviting another wave of arsons to continue next term. We need to take a reasonable break. 2 weeks break in Europe and other countries is not even considered as a holiday. It's a temporary break.
All right.
So ideally, what we are talking here is that Kenya, in the current arrangement, has got 2 terms, term 1 and term 2.
Okay.
Term 2 that begins in May and ends in October, with a short break in August, and a short break that is coming right after a wave of tension, and therefore we are likely to carry over the tension to the next term. So the most natural thing is to bring forward the closing dates so that we reduce the burning of schools by the rate of 5 to 0, and then we engage in constructive engagement so that we can reconstruct our school system, so that we can re-engage, and by the time the students resume in the month in 3rd term, they will have dissipated their tension, and we can deal with them. Are we going to wait? Because what government, and we know, we have this credible information, that they're saying, no, don't. Let us not close the schools on 12, even if they ban 150 or 200 schools. I think that is a very careless thinking.
Well said.
I don't buy that kind of school of thought. We must be able to protect even the smallest infrastructure, even if it is the watchman's house at the gate. We must protect it so that we save all this infrastructure.
We have to end. We have to end. Well said. The point is taken, and I hope the ministry is watching, the teachers are watching, and the students, and even the parents at home are watching. Thank you very much, Wilson Sossion, Secretary General for the Kenya National Union of Teachers, on what has been happening around the country, the arson that is going to over 100. He says the simple solution is going back to the drawing board, putting the systems as anticipated in place.